once was a tale of an old green shit who stole presents and gifts. Then Seuss made it into a book. Now it's a film for the second time, unless you want to count the cartoon. No, wait. This isn't even fucking rhyme. It's like half poem and half not. Oh wait, just like the 2018 piece of shit Grinch movie. I'm gonna need to make sure that DVD or whatever isn't broken, because, yeah, there's other people in this house that might want to watch that movie. Probably a watermark, but I don't give a fuck. Anyway, it's no surprise this movie wasn't great. I mean, come on, look at Illuminations' track record. But I thought it'd be a nice little kids film that wasn't retarded, but oh well. We got this film, directed by Yarrow Cheney and Scott Moiser, who directed Freebirds, which I liked when I first saw it, but I don't think I've ever rewatched it. The Grinch is literally the same damn movie, just really boring. Now, y'all probably know the story, and if you don't, I'll tell you, like, really quickly. Shit decides to steal all the presents on Christmas and hatches a plan, but ultimately learns Christmas spirit and becomes good in the end. Or nice, whatever the fuck. There, now on to the actual film. This was really good looking, as well as the animation being better than average. I will admit that. Like, it actually looks good. It looks rather detailed, especially for an Illumination film with their, quite fucking incompetent track record of having terrible animation, or at the very least, bare minimum, cheap-ass animation that's just repetitive, recycled, and kind of bad. I mentioned that in a Despicable Me 2 review that I never did, but I mentioned in the script. Never actually did that, but yeah. Either way, it's nothing amazing, but it's still something pretty good and much better than some of the other movies they made. But before I get into the actual complaints, I'm going to summarize this film since it's still a bit different. This movie's also forgettable, so I'll look up at other reviews. Yeah, it's only been a few months since I've actually seen the film. When the script was written, I actually watched it when it first came out in theaters. I did a first review, and then I wrote this script, and then I did a video on it, but now I'm, like, redoing it, because why not? I don't know why I took down the original video, but I'm just doing this, that whole thing. So, either way, the film starts with the Grinch waking up, doing his routine cup of coffee and other stuff, then going to a store, and we meet up with Cindy Lou who apparently has the same mother. Oh, I see where this is going. Now, first off, Seuss didn't write these characters like us. He wrote them like some fictional getaway, or just not like us. Also, this film's told kind of poetically, but it switches between a poem and just plain old talking. It's kind of weird. Just choose one. But, I guess Green Eggs and Ham, the show did it, and it was pretty good, so I don't know. It's just a little bit weird. It's not the biggest problem, but either way, the Grinch gets harassed by choir people who apparently are just, like, forcing their whole shit on him, and not actual shit, although, the plot really wouldn't change too much without that. It might actually be more enjoyable. But, by the way, I'm just going to be reusing footage probably from the trailer, just because I don't want to buy this film. I did see it in theaters, or I already gave this piece of shit movie my money, so yeah, I'm not giving it any more money than it deserves. Anyway, Cindy Lou wants to trap Santa so she can ask him to stop making her mother work so hard. Boy, is this just so interesting, We come to movies to get an escape from reality. We don't want something like this. Now, obviously, you can do stuff like reality. It's just, do something a bit different. I don't know. It's always like, ooh, single overworked mother. Wow, that's super duper interesting. Maybe the first 10 times. We also get other characters like Fat Beard Man, who is always jolly, and Fred the huge ass reindeer, or whatever he is. Doesn't look like a reindeer to me, but I guess he's just so fucking overweight and obese that he just doesn't look like one. And that's what happens for the rest of the movie. Seriously, just feel about Cindy and her other friends who I forgot to talk about, but who cares, and their plan, which ultimately takes up about 30 to 35 minutes of screen time, if I'm correct. It's all padded out and boring. It's not the worst, but still, like, kind of just wrong to rewatch Aquaman, which I don't like, but is at least much more entertaining. Anyone with me? And the other time, it's just Grinch finding some reindeer and stealing presents, which is the cool part of the movie. I'll talk about that. And coming up with a plan, which is whatever. Another problem is the fact that it's so padded that they have to come up with jokes to get the kids whose attention spans are probably smaller than their eyes interested. Or the attention span of a squirrel. Either way, I don't have a problem with jokes. Obviously, literally, who fucking does, honestly? Literally, I don't think anyone has a problem with jokes. But it's only if they're good. Now, if it's not like an amazing joke, but you could tell that they tried, I'm not going to be generally too mad, but still, very few jokes land, and so you end up scratching your head wondering, how on earth did anyone think this would be funny? Like, a screaming goat is not funny anymore. It's been overused. It's fucking cringe. It's just obnoxious as well. Obnoxious shit could sometimes be funny if it's not the most overused shit ever that you see on a fucking Facebook meme, or some shit with some mom that thinks she's, like, fucking funny. Like, no, sorry, you're not. You're, like, 5 fucking years too late. Sorry, bitch. Come up with something better. We do get introduced to Fred, who's barely in this movie, but I do kind of like his character since he does get an emotional moment, which I think is a plus. It's weird how Reindeer has a more interesting emotional arc than the fucking main character who's just like, "Ooh, my heart grows bigger because I found some." I'm kidding. Um, it is weird though because I actually felt more for the fucking like reindeer than the Grinch because he's just not exactly that grumpy. I'm not sure if I mentioned that in the script later, but yeah, he's not super duper grumpy. He's just kind of an asshole sometimes, but he's not like the Grinch from the Jim Carrey one or the other one where he's just kind of like a fucking asshole, which is, sometimes pretty fun to watch. I mean, depends on how it's written, but either way, this might be out of nowhere, but the design for the whole Whoville town and the characters were really good. Like, the textures and material, it's pretty good, nothing amazing, but still. I'm checking for his budget, but I learned it won 2 awards at the Kids' Choice Awards, so, let that sink in. Anyway, the budget for this film was $75 million, so good on these people. It's technically low for a animation film. Like, usually it's like over 100 million. Just look at Wally's budget. It's probably like 150 million or something like that. Either way, the color palette in this film is very vibrant, probably to keep the kids interested, but yeah. Either way, the filler and the jokes are really annoying, and I much prefer the 1960s animation short film, or hell, even the 2001, because it's the Grinch acts more like an actual Grinch in that one. And also, this film's just so inoffensive, it's safe. I'm not really sure if it's like how I said, because I mentioned in my Jurassic Park 3 review, like the original one, how I'm like, oh, it's so inoffensive, that's kind of an offense, that's kind of offensive. I'm not really sure about this. I don't really know. It's weird. You get two types of films that are just inoffensive, that you're like, and whatever, or films that are so inoffensive that's almost offensive how little it tries. But I'm not really sure if this movie was ever trying in the first place, and I'm not really sure if I can be too disappointed given this company's track record. So I'm not exactly sure. And I mean with the jokes as well, mainly the jokes, but also kind of the story, like, oh, the whole overworked single mother and all that shit. Like, okay. But yeah, also with the jokes, they're just really generic, like I kind of said before. I mean, I guess the score's nice, whatever. This film just bores me. It's a typical kids' film. Anyway, the Grinch teaches Max and Fred his plan after more quality jokes. He sets on a really cool scene that's one of literally the only fucking reasons I saw this movie, when he steals the prisons. But before that, we must watch like a 20-pound mouse dog pull that huge sleigh. Sure, very believable. I'm annoyed by this since the whole time this whole thing was set up like nonfiction with the Grinch's own backstory, which I also forgot, but who cares? Like, this is supposed to be kind of realistic. So, yeah, also his backstory is that he was alone on Christmas Day, so his heart shrank and some stuff, and now he's grumpy. But that part is also not true. The Grinch isn't very mean in this, like I said. He never really hurts anyone. The meanest thing he's done so far was eat someone's pickle, then regurgitates it out. I mean, technically nowadays that'd be even worse, but at that time, not as mean. I mean, still weird, but I don't know. They probably would just like take a little bite and be like, "Oh, that's disgusting." It's rude, but still. Anyway, the best scene in the film takes place, and the Grinch steals presents in fashion with candy cane launchers and other stuff. After all this boring stuff or just uninteresting shit, we get to this. Thank you, movie. This is the one scene that I really fucking like, and I'm being serious. The Grinch goes inside Cindy Lou's whose house or whatever the fuck, and what do you know? He gets trapped. Cindy Lou mistakes him for Santa and asks why he's taking the presents. Because they don't deserve it. He tried to trap Cindy, you crazy little shit. But either way, the Grinch says he needs to fix them and successfully gets all the presents. But then he sees all the who shits and who shitsville asking where are the presents, but end up happy with each other and in this really like beat over your head message, where it's just like really blatant about it, like, oh well, we don't need presents, we need each other. Okay, well, you could have done it a little bit more subtly, but whatever the fuck. The Grinch sees and wonders why they're happy. His heart grows, I don't know, like 2 or 3 sizes, whatever the hell. He gets invited to dinner and becomes a nice little Benedict cucumber, and the film ends. Overall, this was bland and boring with some really good animation, some good voiceover. With I think Pharrell Williams was like the narrator. It's weird because I'm pretty sure Anthony Hopkins was like the narrator in the 2000s one. I don't know about the other one. I actually don't know. There might have only been a narrator. I'm actually not sure. Anthony Hopkins probably fits better. I don't know why his voice just would fit better for a story like this. That's like the Rock in an Exorcist movie or some shit. It's weird. It's not the worst, but still. And I don't understand the whole excuse of like, it's a kid's film, so it's fine. That's a stupid ass excuse for this. Not challenging the kids with a heartfelt story with a twist or just a good film is dumb. Like, there shouldn't be an excuse for these disposable films that just justifies the fact that people are retarded and can make $511 million off this crap. Yes, I gave some of my money to it, but guess what? I've also given my money to good films like Ad Astra and like, what fucking else? I'm actually not really sure if Ready Player One was that bad. I saw that though. But like, yes, I did give my money to it. I'm sorry. I realize that it's bad, so I'm not giving that much more money to it. I think my dad fell asleep while watching this movie, so that's kind of telling of its quality to adults as well. It's just generally it's just insulting, honestly. And when adults say that, they lose some of my respect. I'm a little bit disgusted by them. It's just like no film should get the benefit, or like, like, oh, it's a kids film, like who cares? Like, no, strive to be better than that. And if you don't, and if you literally just can't, like you don't have the ability to do it, then don't make films. Maybe like literally just don't, like maybe help out with like production design or something like that, but don't. Or maybe just try to be better, like make your own like little short films to yourself and stuff like that, so that you actually get better to the point where you can actually release like this full length feature film or even a short film to like where a lot of people can see it and stuff like that. It's weird. Just don't buy this film. You'll be bored. If you catch it on Netflix, I guess give it a watch. But you'll be better off watching the original animation or the 2000s film, which I don't understand why so many people hate, but I need to rewatch it. But yeah, just don't buy this film because it's got pacing problems, but some good animation and a great scene. But other than that, this is just a bland porch that at best it just looks colorful. And I'm gonna be giving the Grinch 2018, I guess, a C or whatever the fuck. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My next review will either be that 2012 movie or yeah, probably that, most likely. I'm going to try to do that, because that's a movie I might want to talk about. I have not seen that in a while. I'm not a huge fan of disaster movies, well, in a weird way, because they kind of scare me. I might explain it in that video. But I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Fill your snack face with good cheer and great nuts.